Hey everyone, this is Rachel Mooney.
This is Cindy.
This is Maggie.
And this is Andrea, and you're listening to Real Her Talk, houses, heels, and real estate deals.
All right, so how's everybody's week been? Like, we've been out of town. I shot while you guys were gone.
Yeah.
You haven't even heard that episode.
No, I haven't.
What's it about?
Oh, it was good. So Gina, who is my best friend, she was in town from California, and she runs a utility design company out there, and she's owner, operator, and it was kind of her path of how to learn, and she has no college degree, no education, and almost every major home builder nationally uses her and is one of her clients. And so how do you create that? How do you build that? And what does that look like? Because people see with everybody the tip of the iceberg, the success piece, and they think they don't realize the blood, sweat, and tears behind it. And so we just talked about her journey and what that had looked like for her, because she's my friend. Like, if you are gonna go look for a label of some kind, like in her closet, she has all of them. Like, there's all the labels, all the things, and so you think, oh, she married well. No, that's all. I always say I'm high maintenance, but I can afford myself. She's higher maintenance, and she can definitely afford herself.
That's
so
good.
yeah,
That's going to be good to hear.
It is, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for you guys, because you guys were on vacation.
Yes.
So that's where y'all were.
Yep.
So did you have fun?
Oh yeah, it was like great, just rejuvenation time.
Yeah. Where did y'all go?
To the beach, Destin. Same place we go every year. No new place, but we were with the rest of Georgia. And Louisiana.
They got the memo. They all went.
Did. Everybody was there. It was packed. It was hot. But I didn't. I worked one time. I negotiated amendment to address concerns, and other than that, my computer didn't come out. It was wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was so good.
You earned that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even go to the hairstylist and not work.
I know. Somebody's always calling.
Yeah.
A teammate's always got something going on. There's always things, and this time it was
meant to be.
So great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, how about you? Where'd you go?
We went to Hilton Head Island, same place we go every year. And also, it was so busy. And I mean, we went the week of the 4th. Normally, we try to go the week before, but my son, who plays golf and does tournaments, he does a golf tournament there every year. So anyways, that's why we were there a little early. But it was very busy. I mean, even busier than normal. We stay at the end of Palmetto Dunes Resort, which, Hilton Head has got all these different little communities. And so we always try to stay at the end of that road because there's like not a lot of people there. But even then, I mean, it was still nice. It was only like a couple groups, but not bad. But it was good. We flew my mom in on Sunday. Joe flew her in first class. She had never flown in first class. She was so excited. Yeah. And so she keeps my sister's kids. And so it was a good little reprieve for her too. And so I got some like one-on-one time with my mom, which was nice too. She went to the beach one time, and the rest of the time she enjoyed being in and drinking her coffee out on the front porch and stuff like that. So, or back porch, not front porch, but yeah, it was nice. I intended to work because we left on a Thursday, and I was like, well, I'll work Friday. I got a couple of things to do Saturday, Sunday, and also had some homework from my coach. And I was like, I'll do all that because we'll kind of be sort of in and out. I forgot everything.
Good.
Strategically.
I guess so. But like, I'm really good. Like, the first thing I pack is I'm really big on morning routine. And so like, I have quiet time in the morning. I have my gratitude journal that I do every morning, and whatever book I'm reading. I have my Sudoku, whatever. I forgot all of it. And so it was kind of like, I was a little frustrated because like my mornings, I'm like, where's my journal? So I just bought a cheap little 99-cent notebook, and I wrote in there, my gratitude. So at least did that. And then I listened to my Bible on my phone instead of like reading it. And so it was nice, but by the end of the week I was like, I need my stuff, like by the end of the week. But as far as work goes, it was like I never opened my computer because I didn't have my computer. I didn't have anything. So yeah, it was kind of nice. I mean, Joe did work a little, unfortunately, and for me, because it was my client.
Hey, that's okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Teamwork.
That is leverage, friends.
Yes.
Come on.
I had a good friend who fell in love with the house, and it was like multiple offer situations, went for 100,000 over asking.
Wow.
Yes, we beat out multiples.
Where was it?
In Jefferson. And so it was insanity. And so, of course, this all happened right before we go on vacation. And they were leaving, too. They were flying out somewhere out west, I think. And so, you know, Joe and I normally, we tag team when it comes to clients just because I'm limited on, you know, what I can give when I'm, you know, leading the team. So, yeah. And so, of course, we had to list their house immediately. And so it was like this extra word. He's like, I love you. You know that, right? I'm like, I'm so sorry.
No,
I
do
left
not
my
apologize.
laptop.
Hold on a second. How many golf trips has this man been on
Yes,
and
I
left
do.
you at home?
Many.
Yeah, you were fine. I'm going to stand up for all the women out there that get left behind to do all the things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And he's like, I love you. Yes, you do. Go back to work.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did play golf. This past
that.
weekend,
Oh,
y'all.
yeah.
For the first time ever. Everybody's like, I thought you already played. I'm like,
Awesome.
no. I know the game now a lot more than I did because of JoJo, our son, and but yeah, I'm like, I'm ready for the golf trips. When do those start? Joseph's like, no. He's like, you can come play golf. All the things. He's like, golf trips are mine. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go and spa and shop.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're going to have to teach me what you learned because somebody invited me, somebody that I'm meeting with and consulting and helping with their business. She wants to go to this place at Halcyon to go to,
Oh yeah,
it's like X golf.
yeah. Oh, it's fun.
Okay,
It's just
good.
fun, but it is like it's a simulator.
Great.
They have one in Hilton Head, and so when it rains, we go. It's on a strip at Tanger Outlets, and so when we go in the winter, we always have like a family night. And yeah, there's simulators. It's a great concept. Joe's always said someone should open one up. I think they opened one actually here locally.
Halcyon.
It's in
And it's
Alpharetta.
Is that
Okay.
one it?
Yeah.
And they call it. Oh yes, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Yeah.
No, right there. Yeah. And so anyways, she's like, okay, can we do that instead of getting wine? And I'm going, golfing? Wine.
Is she crazy?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I don't know that I would
Or do both.
just go do wine.
Yeah.
My
Sip on the
shoulder's
wine.
gonna hurt afterwards. I'm like, I'm gonna hit one and be like, I'm gonna watch you. This
Yeah.
feels like something you're good at.
Which
Did
I
she
do
throw
that.
out the words? I'm not sure if this is for you,
But yeah.
No, we haven't gotten that far in scripting yet.
Okay.
Clearly, yeah.
It is not.
And I would have been the first to say it's
Yeah.
not for me. But and if you're listening to this later, I apologize. But yeah, I mean, I'm going and I will cheer you on with full cheer, and then I'm going to go right down the street to Cattle Shed and have wine because they do have a fantastic happy hour with great wine selection and very reasonable hors d'oeuvres.
Well, win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah.
So yes, but I was just like, I was cracking up because we went from
Yeah.
Marlowe's for wine to X Golf, and I was like Googling, what the heck is X Golf?
Well, my executive assistant on the topic of golf and women, though, I think it was her that told me at her old, where she used to work previously, that they set up for the ladies like a time to learn how to play because unfortunately a lot of business is done on the golf course. And so as women, like a lot of us don't play. And so they set up like either golf lessons or a golf day for like them to also learn so that they could. I thought that was interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't think the guys would be very excited about us women started golfing. But
No,
it was
but we
not
should.
bad, but it
Mhm.
is hot, and I was
Yeah.
tired at the end. But
Friends of ours let me and my girlfriend follow the boys in a golf cart, and we just flagged down the golf cart girl. What is that
Yeah.
called?
yeah, the
Yeah.
cart girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit anything. I mean, I'll watch.
Yeah,
You know, it'll
I
be
normally
fun.
read a book.
Yeah.
Do a golf clap.
I'm good at
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm good at
very
this.
quietly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So I've got a good one today.
Mhm.
Yeah, they brace for impact with my questions, I think, at this point. But I was thinking about this because next week, for our business meeting in the office, I'm interviewing two very young entrepreneurs who are already very successful at what they've chosen to put blinders on and doing. And when I say very young, I'm talking like 17 and 19.
Wow.
And I think we all have opportunities to learn from that perspective in that age because, I mean, Rachel, I keep going back to this. You and I started in this industry very, very, very young. I giggle every time thinking of a 18-year-old showing up at your house to list your house. Like, that's got to be like,
Mhm.
are you at the wrong place? So that's when I was starting to think about this because I was like, all right, so how do you identify opportunity? Because if I'm 17 or 18 or 19 or even 16, and most people are going to tell you you can't accomplish something at that age, number one, but then as a female entrepreneur, we've been told, not by the people we surround ourselves more than likely, but there's eye rolls. There's like, you know, oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, good luck, you know?
The little pats on your back.
Those, the condescending, or the hugs that are 5 seconds too long, and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
But
uncomfortable.
that's a whole different conversation.
It is, but it's just as condescending.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a saying, never share your 11 by 14 dream with somebody that has a 5 by 7 frame.
I like
That's
that.
great.
Say that again for the folks in the back.
Never share your 11 by 14 dream with somebody that has a 5 by 7 frame.
Yeah.
I like
So,
that.
And so I was, along with that, what's interesting is in talking to both of their moms, it was like the moms didn't have those opportunities. So like what inspired the girls to have that? And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but it took their moms breaking out of the mold, and the moms got to a point, but now the girls are able to run faster because they see it. So I'm of the mindset is like, okay, great. We have an additional platform. Yes, I want to bring that to our entrepreneurs in-house, but we all work really hard, every single one of us, to give back in our communities locally. Is like, so then how do you show women, girls of all ages, what's possible? And so most people sit back and they think that everything's been thought of and done. And so that was my thing, is like, how do you identify opportunity? Because there's more than one real estate agent. More than one loan officer.
Definitely.
So how did we create our opportunity? But then how do you identify it? How do you like even see what is opportunity? How does it show up? And I think that that's a question that hopefully more younger people are starting to ask themselves. More women are starting to ask themselves. But sitting at this table, it's like, where did we start? And then the second question was around characteristics of an entrepreneur. Like, what's the most important? And I have my pat answer. But when I started talking more to the younger girls, it was like, they couldn't articulate those words, but they had it. And I'll share that with you guys in a little bit, like what I think mine is. But, you know, whoever wants to start, like, how do you see opportunity? How does that show up? How do you take advantage of opportunity? Let's start with, does it ever show up with a pretty bow on top and somebody walks up to you off the street and is like, you look like $1 million. You can be a Hollywood star. Let's go film your first blockbuster, and you're off to stardom, and okay, go.
Yeah, no, it never shows up like that.
Shocking.
Because if it did, everybody would recognize it, and then they would jump at whatever that opportunity is.
Yeah. So expound on that. So if it's not going to show up like that, and if everybody can't recognize it, how do you?
There's this, I think I just read a saying that said opportunity shows up like hard work.
It does, yeah.
I mean, it really does. Like, it does. And when I was young, like, I was one of those that got everything I wanted in high school. And then I got a full ride to college, and I had to, like, go up against a couple of ladies for that, and I got that. And, I always got everything. Got the lead role in the musical. I, had solos as a friend. I made the team. The one thing I did not make in high school, I did not make majorette line, and I was distraught, and I was crying, calling all the girls who made it fat and all this stuff. I apologize if you were on that majorette line. You are not that. But I was so distraught because I was like, but I just decided I was going to do that like a month before that. Never twirled a baton. I'm like, of course I wasn't going to make it. And so I was so distraught because I was like, what has happened? I've always made everything that I've tried out for. And then the next year I decided to try out for Flag It, which was flags, and there was like 25 of them. So I made that. But when I got into college, going to women's college with a lot of powerful, like very driven women, like I realized, oh my gosh, I'm a little fish in a big pond. And when opportunity didn't come as easily, like it was hard for me. And it was just like, this is not easy. Like my first job, like I was still a senior in college. Was just I went to open a bank account. I got offered a job by the president of the bank, just sitting there, and like it was like 30 grand starting salary plus bonuses, and I was like, well, this is more than my teacher friends are making right now, of course. So like that's been easy, and then now it's like opportunity does not come like that. That's an anomaly, and so yeah, it was a very big wake up call going into college, and then as an adult, that I've a lot of hard lessons and a lot of struggles that. Honestly, I wish things wouldn't have been that easy for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you, and I'm going to ask this question because it was asked of me by a very good coach of mine. Has there been anything in your life that you truly wanted that you haven't got?
Oh, that is a question. A good question that I've truly wanted that I haven't got. Gosh.
It's okay to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you truly want something until you're close to it or until you have something else and you realize this is better. Like, you know, I've always dreamed of, you know, climbing the corporate ladder, and I was going to be over a region, and I was going to do this, I was going to do that, I was going to be the corporate mom, and that didn't happen. And that was a huge dream of mine. Like, I always saw myself, I'm an achiever. If you know the Enneagram, I'm a 3, so I'm always striving. And so I didn't accomplish that, but now I'm like, I'm very thankful that I didn't, because my reality is a lot better than what I dreamed of then. So I don't know, but as far as like, I mean, I haven't accomplished things yet.
Not the
If
same
that makes
thing.
sense, but like as far as accomplished, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Rachel,
I have to sleep on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
It's a
question.
deeper question than you
it is.
think it is. And I,
Been asked
yeah,
that before.
it was a deep question.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Cindy, how do you identify opportunity?
It usually comes where I'm doing something else and it kind of like taps me on the shoulder and say, why don't you try this? I mean, I got picked up from Indiana doing a job that I loved, followed my husband, dropped into a city. I didn't know anyone. And so I just had to start. I literally started as a receptionist for the CDC Federal Credit Union, who then they realized I did have a degree and I could do more than answer the phone. And so then I became the executive assistant to the president, and he taught me mortgages. And then I had to leave that, and that's a whole different story. I had to leave that location, but somebody knew headhunter for processors when I didn't really know what that was. And then but I'm detail oriented. So I went to work and interviewed with Pat Flood for Home Bank and Bob Cannon. And I didn't know that they were bigwigs. And when he handed me his business card, I pulled out my business card and handed it to him. And he's just looking at me, and I really didn't know basically what I was supposed to do. I just did it, you know. So, and then I was lucky enough that I was pretty good at what I was doing, and there are loan officers out there, as you probably know, that could sell ice cream to Eskimos, but they can't do any of the back end, and that's where the problems. So guess what? I became the junior loan officer for a very, very talented, lovely woman, and I made sure she got paid. I did all the calls. She could bring it in, and that really helped me because I'd already had processing experience. I am a professional chatter, thanks to my mother, and now I had learned what to do and not to do in the mortgage industry, especially if you're a woman, because it is a male-dominated industry.
So can I tell you what I just heard?
What?
You nailed it wherever you were.
Mm-hmm.
So people couldn't help but notice how you showed up every day.
I do have a pretty strict work ethic. You know, if I have to work 24 hours to get something done, that's just the way it's just the way it is. But and my parents raised me for, I'm sure this is where you got it too. My parents raised me Don't do it if you're not going to do it the best, because they hated slacking off. And I grew up on a farm. There was a lot of slacking off that could have been done, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. So yeah, nailing it where you're at is going to get you noticed by other people.
Yeah. Do your best, and that gets noticed.
Yeah, because
And be a nice person. I think I'm a nice person, and that always helps.
always.
Agreed.
How do you identify opportunity?
Well, a couple things. Never say no to an opportunity that you don't know about yet. So many people are quick to say no to something that they're not quite sure what they're saying no to. So I would say you don't do that. Identifying white space in your life so that you can dream. That's really critical, because I believe that if you were given a dream, then you were given a dream on how to make it happen. So if God put something in your mind for you to achieve, and it comes to you, however it comes to you, you're going to figure out how to make that happen. He's going to give you the resources to make that happen. So those are two big things for me. So identifying that, don't say no, but then giving yourself the white space, but then also come from curiosity. So you'll hear people say, well, I just threw it out there, or I just came from curiosity by asking somebody else what they did or how they did it. And so when I mentioned the saying of don't share your 11 by 14 dream with somebody that's got a 5 by 7 frame, yes, you want to keep that stuff close, but you also want to share that stuff with people that can influence whatever direction that you're wanting to go down, or how you're going to get there. And so I think it's strategically done. When you asked Maggie if she's ever failed at anything, or that she's tried to, has she accomplished everything she wants to accomplish?
Is there anything that you have truly wanted
that you didn't get? Yeah. My answer is no. I've gotten everything that I want. Maybe because I don't dream big enough. That could very well be it, right? But I'm also a very simple person, and I don't need a whole lot. But again, I feel like I'm put in the right spot at the right moments for the places that I need to be to impact the people that are around me. But I think it's full circle. I think you've got to give yourself white space to either pray through it, hear it from whatever your spiritual guidance is, but you're listening to it, and you're working through that, but then you're also voicing it out, but then you're not saying no to opportunities that you don't know that you're saying no to. I think that's, to me, that's how opportunity identifies itself. What is the opportunity? How do you get there? Is it your opportunity, or are you supposed to say no to that opportunity so it opens up a door for someone else's to have that opportunity? There's so much that goes. It's like that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Yeah, like Joseph says, you got to be in the way for good things to happen.
That's right.
For things to happen.
Yeah,
we tell our agents that all the time. And
yeah.
Like one of our agents was saying, he's like, "Hey, I just got a listing agreement," and then he referred me to the neighbor, and now the neighbor wants to sell this and that. Like, you were in the way, you were there, And so a lot of times opportunity comes just by, being in the way and being there and being where you're supposed to be. And as far as real estate opportunities, it's all on the math. Like, so you've got to figure out what kind of opportunity is it, and does my heart need to be in this decision, or does my heart need to be out? Yep. So, like as investors, especially when we're like, oh, I want a beach house, things like that, you want to, it's the facts and the math, basically the math is the math work. Yep. But then other things that are, more soul, heart stuff. Like for me, like I think opportunity comes in many different ways. And if it's something big, like normally it shows up in multiple places of my life. So like I might feel something that I might think is an opportunity, and then I might notice that something comes up during my quiet time that kind of goes along with what I'm feeling. And then someone may mention something that kind of sort of goes with it. And so like I feel like for me, that's how I identify it. And I know, okay, this is something I need to pay attention to, because if I'm kind of hearing this several places, and I'm seeing this, and I'm feeling this, and it all goes together. It all kind of comes together. Then I need to pay attention to this and see, is this truly an opportunity for me? You know.
And that's being open to it, right? This being having quiet time and white space and being where your feet are at all times, right? Not being thinking about what I have to do next or what did I just come from, but being present in the moment of whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of my opportunity, excuse me, came with a whole lot of fear in front of it because there was a lot of discussions. Do I stay in processing? Processing is it's not an easy thing to do, but it's got, the pay is there.
Stable.
And it's stable. Yes, it's stable. But the opportunity to be a loan officer gives you much more opportunities, but there's that fear because you create all the opportunities yourself, where if you work for somebody else, and I'm going to segue just a minute. I was talking about this same sort of thing with my daughter, who is an entrepreneur, and she's in her early 40s, and I was telling her that we were going to have this conversation. She says, you know what, Mom? She says, realtors are the only people I can think of that don't have anything other than themselves to sell. They don't have a product. Even with me, I have products, but I thought I never thought about it. She says, those are the extremely confident people because what they're selling is themselves.
It is. Yeah. But I wouldn't agree that we're the extremely confident, but we all did jump off a ledge.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well, you stopped screaming and now
we
we're
learned how to
successful.
swim while we were sinking.
I don't know that we stopped screaming, but you figured out that you already jumped and it was what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to go punch a clock?
No.
I mean, I love my office, but there's I couldn't be could you?
No.
I would die.
I did try it for a hot 3 months and I about poked my eyeballs out. Like, it was terrible.
I couldn't even go back
terrible.
to new construction again.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That was too
I just didn't love but I didn't love being inside all day. I think that's what was biggest for me, because I did go back for a short little minute before I told myself that, I'm gonna be a teacher. That's what I want to do, and I loved my job that I had for a year. But after being kind of an entrepreneur, doing my own thing, like I went to CrossFit, and so I came and went as I pleased, and I really battled. Like, I love these people, I love my job, but I'm like, I can't leave if I need to leave. Well, I mean, they were flexible, but you know what I'm saying. Some days are just, days when you just need a day or whatever, or there's days where I'm okay working in the evening if I have something I have to make up for going to get my nails done in the morning. Things like that. Right. It's the flexibility. I don't think it's less work, but it definitely is the flexibility.
No, I'd say it's more work. It's just when you choose to do it. My favorite is people get into either industry and they're for the flexibility, and you're like, I mean, you're still going to work 50 to 60 hours a week. It's just which of those are you going to work? Not if.
Right.
Pick.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, there's something that I have noticed that are common themes that you guys are saying is a couple of things. Is number one, I love what you said, nail it where you are, because you're never going to get noticed if you show up halfway to anything. The next thing is that it's consistency, whether you guys realize you were saying that or not, was being super consistent with whatever you're doing, even if it's listening for opportunity and being where your feet are and giving yourself time to process that stuff. And it's funny because when you were saying that, because Rachel talks about it, giving yourself the white space, and you're like, and then I'll hear it a couple different places, because you're letting your brain have the time to realize it's hearing it in multiple places. I think opportunity shows up as problems.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard
it
that
does.
before,
Yeah.
too.
Opportunity who said that shows up as hard work. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it already has a bow on top and somebody else has already poured their blood, sweat, and tears in it, what do they need you for?
Right.
And it shows up in hard work and as problems, and I've never seen anything that's run so perfectly that there isn't problems. Fair?
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen that. So no matter where you're at, there is opportunity if you set yourself apart. And it's killed me the last couple of years because I do love scrolling through. Like, I laugh. I'm so weird. And somebody please validate that I'm not the only one who likes to watch TikToks for the little miniature cows and the baby goats and the horses and all the, I'm like so addicted. I didn't know that there was this thing called Water Masters.
Oh no, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so there's like yeah, I have a problem. So there's like I love learning about people and their lives, and so these are not like, I mean, I like the funny ones too, all the cat videos. I'm obsessed with them knocking everything off. But like there's in Idaho is where this one guy lives, and they get their water because it's basically really is a desert. So their water comes from the river, and the river divides, and part of it goes into a culvert, and that feeds all the farms downstream. So the water master monitors to make sure that in the rotation for the farms, everybody's getting their fair share of the water as it's coming down the culverts.
Instead of the first guy.
Yeah.
So the first guy, Cindy giggles, she knew. She knew. And so I'm like addicted to this because I'm like, who knew there was water masters and these guys got to put, you did, yes?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
there
did
was a
know.
name for it. We didn't call him the water master.
Oh, you just called, but the guy. And so,
Mr. Flint.
no. See? And so that was the thing is like, it's so cool because like he's got his own little dams and he has his own little culverts and he has to let some stuff run through because one of the culverts goes to his other neighbor. Anyways, there was a point to this. TikTok. Yes. Okay. Well, that went left-handed, turn right. We went down
It's
the
been
road.
very educational.
It has.
It has
yes. I never knew.
I never knew about water masters. I've
Me
never
neither.
knew. I mean, I knew horses' birth, but I didn't know their gestation was 11 months. I learned all kinds of new stuff. So, anyways,
It's better than what I watched. So
Yeah.
it's for him.
Same.
yeah. Well, the tree cutting guy. I mean, who's not watching that? I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't know about him.
I
I'll have
don't
to talk about
I
him
don't
offline.
I
I don't know.
I don't watch.
Wait, you don't know about the guy who chops the wood?
No,
No.
I'm not on TikTok.
No.
So if it's not on Instagram Reels, I'm
I'm
probably
sure
not
it
seeing
is.
Yeah.
Probably. They're all.
I'll send y'all that. All of our other female listeners, they know about the wood chopping guy. Trust me.
Okay.
We're gonna leave it at that. Seth is like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's interesting. He chops different kinds of wood." He's like, "That's not why you watch it."
Yeah. We know why you watch. Because he's pretty chopping
He's
wood.
very pretty chopping wood. He's
And
very
I haven't even seen
I
it.
know. You know. Right. So in any case, I've seen all these videos on TikTok about how people show up at their jobs. And that it's like day one, I go in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to learn everything. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then it's like year 3. Oh my God, I hate this. Like, why are we even having this meeting? This is stupid. This blah, blah. And it's like, anybody can do something that's easy for a certain period of time. That is not how opportunity shows up. And then this other guy I was watching, he's like, well, he was a top performer in his department. Sorry, I'm not corporate. Well, none of us are corporate. I'm like, I don't even know what technically it's called, but department. And he recorded his HR review with, he recorded it. And they're like, your performance has gone down like quite a bit, and like you're performing average. And he's like, well, I've asked for a raise twice, and you've said no. And so if this is the metric for me to be like standard or average, and I am not going to get exceptional pay, why would I give you exceptional work? And I was like, wow, I hear you, and get a different job. This is not a hostage situation. I say that to everybody. I'm like, there's no gun to anybody's head for a job.
Right. Yeah.
But number 2, you will never get opportunity if you show up for a year as exceptional and then average the rest of the time. Because I can show up in a big way for a year or 2, burn out, fizzle out, be done, and that hasn't proven anything. When people are looking for people to have opportunities or talk to them about things, the biggest word for me is resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship to me is resilience, because we get knocked down so much. Anybody have one week where they don't have a bad day?
No, but my word is tenacity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was grit and
Grit.
urgency.
And if you
Grit
look
and
tenacity,
urgency.
all those words are under tenacity because I
Oh.
looked it up before.
There you
You
go.
cheated.
No, I mean
That's research.
Here.
Good job.
no, like that. It's you ever have a word and you use it a lot and you know it, but you don't know if it's really definition or just
That's
what.
fair.
Yeah.
So I didn't
I
want
make up my
to.
own
I didn't
words.
want to make up.
Mhm.
You make up.
I told
Every
you.
once in a while, I'll make up one, but no.
I do
Most
too.
of, I'm a little too OCD, and that's
Oh,
why I
no.
had to look up the word because I was not going to say the word and have somebody text.
Like to be on the comments and be like, that's not it.
That's not
Yes, I
me.
can be that person.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, our leadership team says that they have to learn all the Andrea-isms. It takes some time to figure out.
Oh, I have a picture of it where it was on the
Right
back.
On the thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I carry it in my phone.
So no, I wouldn't have
And-
judged you at all if you made up your own word. I'd been like,
No.
approved.
Yeah.
Formally approved.
Yeah.
I like it because every once in a while, when you're just in that space, I go, let me read the Andrea.
If I say bless it, that's not good. Anyway, so yeah, what's your word? What's like quality wise?
Quality. I mean, I think grit was similar. I mean, I was thinking more, of course, my mind was thinking more on, I don't know, maybe actions versus, I guess, quality. I don't know. Because I was thinking like, I was talking to Joseph and I was like, I feel like an entrepreneur needs consistency. I feel like an entrepreneur doesn't need to, like, I think the biggest thing for me is, and I don't know if it can be summed up in a word, but like, you've got to have vision and you've got to have a dream and you've got to be passionate, but you also have to be able to not care what the heck everybody else thinks or what they say. Because I think that there are so many people out there that start something and then like the naysayers come out and they quit. And I know in my life, I've done things that I said I was going to do. And then as soon as somebody said something negative or something, like I quit. And it just like, you have to have you gotta have thick skin and you have to be able to be very, very much like own whatever it is you're going after and be like, and even when you fail, be like, well, crap, I failed. Well, how can I learn from this and let's go,
Right.
like, let's move on. So I don't know. I just had a hard time bringing it all into like one quality, but I mean,
Action.
action. Yeah, that
That's an
too. Cause
attitude.
you're going
Well,
like,
that's what you're talking. That's what
Yeah.
you keep talking about is staying in action,
True.
no matter whether you're up, down.
yeah, you gotta,
You got to keep moving.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just especially identifying opportunity. If you can look around you and look for a problem and solve it.
Yeah.
To me, that is where every opportunity for anybody in any industry, anything, if you're having that pain point or that problem, so is somebody else.
Mhm.
Well, and I think as entrepreneurs too, especially agents and lenders, we have to be able to pivot quickly and to very much know, like, when the market changes, like the first one to move and change and pivot is the first, they're going to be the one that's going to come out of this because they change quickly. And so not being stuck, again, action,
Mhm.
like not getting stuck, even if you're excelling at that point, knowing that at any minute something can change and you're going to have to pivot quickly. And whatever it was that didn't work, that was working great then, may not work now, and you better figure out what's working now. So like you have to be very much bendable, flexible, so that like we're not all doing what we were doing even 3-4 years ago, and now like we're competing with the younger crowd that is all social media. And so now us 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, we got to figure out how to get on social media the way they do because we can't be silent, We can't be secret agents, even though we want to be
Secret agent.
When did that
like
happen?
little, but you know.
I have
It's
a question
just-
for you because you and I are like within a year of each
Uh-huh.
other. When did we get old?
I don't know
People
about you,
started
but
calling me and asking me that they needed my wisdom. I'm like, please don't ask me for wisdom. It makes me feel really old.
Old. And then
Ask me for
somebody
advice.
Yeah, somebody said to me not terribly long ago is that like you know when you turn around and you look for your adultier friend who's adultier than you and they're like it's always you and I'm like why?
Mm-hmm.
Most recently, I had my sunglasses on my head and my reading glasses on my face.
Uh-huh.
That was the
I
most
saw that video.
I was like sitting there and I'm like, ooh. And then I realized all those women I called old because they had reading glasses on. They were not old.
No, not old.
They're only in their 40s probably, and we're not old.
It hit me when we
so-
can't be in YPN anymore.
I was so sad when I got kicked out.
What? Yeah.
I was so sad when I got kicked out. And then they were like, oh, we extended the age limit. You can come back in. This was like a year and a half later. I was like, no, it's over. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I'm done.
I don't want to
I'm
be the
mourn
courtesy.
that.
Yeah, I can't be the courtesy like we're going to let you in because
Yeah.
you're young at heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
jump
for
off.
Yeah.
15 years, for 15 years, we were always younger in the industry. And now it's like we're the old ones in the industry. And all
Yeah.
these young ones are coming. It's
coming
like,
up.
oh my God, we're the old ones.
Well, and I think for us, we started young. Well, you started young. I
Oh,
mean,
geez.
I was married at 21. I
Yeah.
had kids at 23. So, like, right now, all of the older 30s, younger 40s, they have babies. And
Oh,
so
God,
Joe
mine would
and
jump off
I,
a cliff.
Joe and I feel like grandparents. You know, like we were in a married small group, and I think the oldest, aside from our kids and like one other couple, like was kindergarten. So like, and they were all like 30s in their 30s. You know, we joined when we were 39. So you know, it was like, you know, but it
Cindy's just
yeah.
laughing at all of
But
us at this point.
I know,
Well,
but I think that it's like that makes me feel older with people because I think it's the wisdom that we learn from like raising children and having children that are about to go to college and adult children. So I think regardless of your age, like sometimes I do feel older naturally just because even though we've lived the same amount of years, I've lived differently and
More experiences. Yeah, because I mean, I remember like I said, I comically like if an 18-year-old showed up to list your house, like what would your reaction be? But in all seriousness, I mean, I was 20 with a baby and whatever. I mean, we were all, and people looked at you then like, okay, like clearly your life is a disaster. What have you done? You know? And now I'm like, haha,
yeah,
I'm done.
You know when your baby turns 40?
I bet that.
That was about two months of
Morning.
not mourning, but like trying to figure out where the last 40 years went.
Yeah,
You know,
I could see that. Definitely.
Yeah.
And it is funny because my 40-year-old has a 5-year-old. So
See?
Yeah.
That's normal.
That's normal now. It's
Yeah.
not. It was not when I was 20. I mean, there's multiple of us in our sorority. There's at least 3 or 4 of us, maybe 5, and we all had kids at the same time. So all of our kids are graduating high school, going to college, driving, and then there is a couple of them who did marry later. And so a lot of them are like kindergarten, first grade, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what I would do.
Oh, no,
Right, yeah, I
no
wouldn't
one.
either.
So,
No, nobody in our friend group had kids the same age as Alyssa. Alyssa was like the only, like all of her friends' parents are at least a decade older than us, if not a little more.
I had Emily at 27 and Adam at 30.
okay, so you were
Yeah,
older.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got married at 24.
Yeah.
That's when you
26.
have those practice, engagements and stuff that puts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a practice engagement.
That's
for a
okay.
while.
Yeah. Well, none of us have practice husbands, though.
No.
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 God.
We kept them.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, they're
Day
cute.
by day.
Yep.
I would say if something ever happened, nobody's gonna want me because I am
Mhm.
stubborn. I am who I am, and Joe and I have grown up together. So like we
Yeah.
we were in high school. We've known each
Yeah.
other since middle school. It's like we've grown up together and have you become that unit,
Yeah.
and like so like
I don't want to go down it again either. Like I would not be interested at
No.
all.
no.
No, I don't need a
No.
date. I don't need anything.
No.
Like I'll be by myself,
With my
enjoying
dog.
my quiet time with yeah.
With my
He-
puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If something happened to Seth,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'll just, well, then too, he's worth more not with us than with us. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm retiring. I'll just pay off the house and sit there with my cats. And he's like, please don't turn into a crazy old cat lady. I was like, too late. Too late. I will sit in my house and play with my kitty cats, and then I'll go to Europe, and then I'll come back, and that's it. That's really all I want to do.
Yeah.
Now that we're at our age, every morning I look him in the face and I said, I am a catch.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you are.
Don't forget. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Check for your other 70-year-old friends in the neighborhood. No, I'm a catch.
And you still go to work every day. Thank
and
you
I get
very
up
much.
and go to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you imagine not working?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. I would think, I love my husband to death and he knows it, but it would be difficult because I have to keep moving. He doesn't like to do that much moving. And so one of us would be always miffed. So I have to stay working.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself not working?
Mm-mm. Only if I was like a multi-millionaire, like had
But
every
even if
money
you
in the
did.
world. No, I think I would get bored. You know what I mean? Like I think I could do.
You would be
it
a
would be great
chairperson.
for about 3 or 4 months, and then I'd be like, okay, I need to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something. I tried not to work when I had the girls.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. I did because they're 18 months apart. And so I had Olivia, who was turning 2, and I had Lola, who was about 3 or 4 months old. And so Shane said, why don't you just stay home with the girls and do real estate as a referral business? And I tried that for a hot minute. He came home one day and he goes, you need to go back to work. You're not the same person. And I go, this is driving me nuts. I can't.
Yeah.
So I got a nanny and I went right back full time. I couldn't. So I tried, but it just was not good for my personality. Like I needed to be around people. I needed to do more than just be home.
Move things forward.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see yourself not working?
I mean, I did. I stayed home with the kids for a long time, which I'm very thankful for. Like living paycheck to paycheck, broke, and managed to, be home with them. I don't, maybe, but I don't know. I think my life would be work. Like I would still get up in the morning. I'd still work out. I need routine.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a working routine or a being home routine, but I feel like if I didn't work, I would probably fill my day with like mentoring the younger generation. And that would be kind of like
giving back to the
Yeah,
community,
yeah.
like charities,
So it's like,
things
so
like
that.
that.
So yes, I mean, I couldn't work, but I would still, in some form or fashion.
I don't think any of us would sit on the couch and eat bonbons and watch TV all day.
No.
Or soap operas. I don't even know if they're still around, but I don't think
no idea.
any of us would be. If we didn't have to actually go do something for work, we would be doing something else for the community or getting involved.
There's just too many things that need to be done.
Yeah.
That need.
Yeah.
Can anybody turn their brain off though? Like I can't turn my brain off. Like if I have to work or else my brain is constantly solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like constantly. I will wake up in the middle of the night and be like my brain has worked out something. I'll be like, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
And it's like actually like it's not like I was dreaming about something or whatever. No, it's like it's worked out a problem on its own. Like I have to be highly engaged and pushed.
Yeah.
God forbid I get bored. If I'm bored, everybody should run.
Yeah.
I saw more mortgage problems in my sleep.
Uh-huh.
I really do. Things that you're either too busy or my concern for that loan and those clients is so overwhelming that I can't concentrate on it during the day.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go to sleep, a lot of times I'll wake up and I go, oh, we could try this.
Yeah.
And in the mortgages, it's like, oh, if we pay off this, we get a gift over here and stuff, then we can make it work. So I do work a lot during the night.
That's how mine does. And it comes out in the mornings when I'm showering.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm at the gym, if I'm doing like treadmill or anything like running activity and not lifting weights. I can't do it while I'm lifting weights, but if I'm just doing just a stand, rhythmic, then I'll get the idea or the idea will work itself out. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly right. And then I keep going. And then I get excited because then I'm on my way home like, oh, I got to do this.
Yes.
Or then I'll tell Shane,
There's
this is this.
There's a book called 10x is greater than 2x. Did I say that right?
Close enough. I know which one you're talking about.
But it talks about how you need to 10x your your downtime too, because like that's when all of the magic happens, is when you do set aside time to be down. And because I am a worker, and so I mean Joe's like all the time, like you would work all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I probably would, but to me like it wouldn't feel like work because I'm just one of those that just dives in deep. And so, but I'm not good at resting. And if I'm resting, like I feel like I'm not productive. And so I think that was when I did stay at home, my struggle always was like, I don't have anything to do. But then like laundry was piled up and dishes were piled up. And so like a lot of my friends that do stay home and I feel like are very fulfilled doing it, they treat that like their job. And I really didn't. I just kind of was like existing, you know? And so then I struggled with like, I need something to do. I need a job. Like, but had I just, and there were moments in the time when I was home with the kids where I felt very fulfilled, very productive, because I did treat it, I think, like on Mondays I did this, on Tuesdays I did this, you know, things like that. So whenever I did that, it was good and I felt okay. But if I was just kind of like winging every day, I was like, all right, I need something to do, you know? But I mean, there are lots, you know, like I have a lot of friends who are still at home, but a lot of us, like we started at home with our kids and now a lot of us have moved on into careers, which is really neat. I think as a woman, you can do both. Like you can stay at home with your children for the time that they need you and then like enter a career like real estate or, you know, mortgage lending or whatever, network marketing now, all these things where you can create big businesses even at 40, you know, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. A lot of women do feel that way once their kids graduate high school. They're kind of like, well, what now? Or could I even do anything now? And it's like, yeah, you can start now. But especially now when you don't need to go to a big corporation and get a job and explain the gap in your resume. Now it's like, go sell this or go do that or start your own business or whatever. Like there's a lot
solve a problem.
Yes, solving a problem. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for women right now, I think, for everybody, really, especially in the world of social media where you can market yourself, advertise yourself. Like that is pretty neat.
Yeah,
it is. That is an option. Yeah. Lots of stay-at-home moms now make a second income, passive income because of social media. And I think that I think allows them to do both. Had I had that, I don't know if I'd be in real estate.
Oh, Joe would have dragged you in there whenever you were coming, kicking,
Yeah.
screaming.
But anyways, But you know,
Joe would just sit here and be like, just you wait. Once I can get Maggie here, it's going to be amazing.
And I tried everything.
You tried so hard. You did really well until you lost.
Till you didn't.
Till you didn't.
Yeah.
But again, my personality wanted to have my own thing. Like you have your own thing. This real estate thing is yours. Like I want my thing that I said I built and I did. And I had to really be like, you know what? This is our thing.
Joe was never building a team without you. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah. All right, that's it.
Actually, when I was 38 and 40, that was my best time, really. I mean, I was too young and too naive coming off the farm in the 20s. In the 30s, it just seemed like there was just a whole lot of chaos going on. But about the end of the 30s, I had it. I mean, I felt like I had it. I knew who I was.
That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Me too.
You
You finally know
who you are.
yourself.
Yeah. And not necessarily who my husband thought I should be or who my peers thought I should be, and definitely not what my mother thought I should be. I love my mother, but she was very, she had plans.
And they weren't you driving a Porsche and going and taking over the world?
No, I don't think that was in her. Yeah, I don't even know if my father understood what a Porsche was, you know.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
I could drive a tractor and that's all he cared about. So,
that's pretty awesome. As long as you can drive one of them, you're good.
Really.
Yeah. I think my late 30s, early 40s have been the most fun, I think. But I think I see ladies that are older than me going through it. Like lots of my friends turned 40 way before I did because of older children, you know, not older children, but because of when I had kids, I found myself with older people. And so I went to like several 40-year-old parties before I even turned 40. So watching them live through their 40s, and a lot of them now are approaching 50. And so I'm like, life's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's gonna be
and
good.
And so like I don't mind the aging part, and I really do believe that once you start just once you stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and you just live life for you on your terms, like that's when magic happens, and you're able to truly like say, I'm gonna do this because I want to do it, and I don't care what stands in the way, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
Jump off the cliff.
Show you how to do 70s.
Okay. I like
yes,
that.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
No, you show up in your 70s the way I bet probably every 70-year-old wishes they could show up.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if they wish that, but I know that I don't want to be the 70s that I've seen. But of course, women are in a new, every decade, women have new opportunities that they never had, like my mother never had, my grandmother never had, my aunts never had. So this is my new version of what a 70s is supposed to be.
Okay, do you guys want to break your brains? Do you remember that show Married with Children?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the parents were in their early 40s when that was filmed.
Oh wow.
They were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brain broken. None of us sitting
Look
at
that
the,
old.
look like that old. And it's just, to your
That-
point,
Yeah.
is like self-care, opportunity,
Yeah.
like all that stuff. It has changed even the way we age. Like if you go back and look at people even 30 years ago who were in their 40s at that time on TV and stuff, you're like, because I didn't believe when Seth told me that, again, you want to know on TikTok, I was like, no way, that's not true. And so I Googled it. I was like,
Yeah.
Well, yes, and just, if I still lived on a farm, I mean, when I was growing up, you used to put iodine and
Oh yeah, baby oil.
baby oil
Yeah, I
on
did
your
that too.
skin to
Mhm.
tan.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, I remember the baby oil. I mean, but I'm tan, so.
you came out tan. That's not fair.
Yeah.
You didn't
I mean,
have
well,
it.
I'm not tan, but I do tan quickly. So I am
You're
more
tan.
You have
well,
olive
I've been
skin.
at the beach.
I know, but
But
you're
yes,
still
but I
tanner
am
than me.
tan.
I'm like,
Well, yes.
I'm
Yeah.
reflective.
I was going to say,
We're all
yeah.
tanner than
I know. I'm reflective.
More tan.
I went to have my
Yeah.
passport photo done. They do it on a white background.
Oh,
I have floating eyes and a little nose.
And they don't let you show your ears or smile.
Yeah.
No. So I look
like an elf.
I look like a ghost.
The kids were like, Mom, you look like, what is it, Frodo?
I don't know. I would rather be an elf than a ghost. I'm floating eyeballs and a nose. See? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just trying to say she's not tan.
Mm-hmm.
I am tan.
Are you 70 yet?
Yeah, I turned 70 in April.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, you don't
No,
look
you don't
70
look
and act
70.
70 at all.
That's the
talking
goal.
about
Stay vertical and don't look.
yeah. So my grandparents, both my grandmothers, my momols, they had the momo haircut, that was over the ears and short in the back,
Uh-huh.
and they literally set their hair once a week.
Yep.
And then would wash it, and it was
Mhm.
that big fro helmet
Bouffant.
situation. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And when you go back and look at pictures, like my one grandmother that was like my mom, she died at 74, so she was very young,
Yeah.
but she looked like she was almost 90. You know what I mean?
Right.
Based off of like the haircut and just the way that they treated themselves back then. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just changed so much. So I couldn't even imagine you don't
No.
Don't at all.
seem 70.
Well-
When I think of 70, I think of still of that era. I don't know why.
Because there's the 70-year-olds that still go do that.
Yeah.
hmm And they're probably 90s really now,
There was some 70s in front of me driving to work.
And you're like,
Today.
get out of the way!
Two
Yeah.
tiny little white-haired ladies,
Oh yeah.
and I could tell they weren't that
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going, oh, please.
You're like, listen,
Please,
it's the one
Lord.
on the right. It's the one on the right. Push it a little harder, and we won't
know.
have to scoop
I
you out of
know.
the way.
And I
Don't
looked
you
in
wish
my,
you could play bumper cars
Oh,
sometimes and
I
like bump
do.
them out the way?
because I was
All the
coming
time.
down 140 Hickory Flat, Canton,
yeah.
to go to Roswell, and I looked behind me, and I swear there was like 50 cars
Yeah.
because it was like 10 minutes till 9, and I think they were going. I
And
don't
it's
know.
like,
Where,
it's not Sunday. Find a different time to go take a drive. I
Not
leave my
during
house
tra-
at
traffic.
6:30, 6:45 in the morning, and when I'm getting behind somebody slow, I am irate because I'm like, Why? If you have left your house at this time in the morning, you have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Can we all get there?
Yeah.
I think they must have been going to the doctor's office.
Oh,
or something like that,
maybe
you know?
so. Yeah. And they didn't want to get
They
there.
didn't wanna get there.
They left in plenty of time.
No,
to
I
get
think they
there.
were being very cautious.
Yeah.
It was a straight road.
Oh, bless it.
I know.
Oh, see? I was like, and
Yeah,
then.
and that's the exact word I used.
Good. Good.
I know I say bless it all
All the time.
Mm.
All right, that's it.
All right.
We're good. Thanks, guys.